President Donald Trump's announcement of a 10% tariff on Chinese imports effective February 1, 2025, follows his earlier declaration of 25% tariffs on imports from Canada and Mexico. These measures are part of his administration's strategy to address issues like illegal immigration, drug trafficking, and the fentanyl influx into the United States. China emphasized the mutual disadvantages of a trade war, stating there are no winners and warning that such actions could harm all parties. The proposed 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico drew strong reactions. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau indicated Canada would respond, highlighting Canada's critical energy resources essential to the U.S. economy. Ontario Premier Doug Ford called the tariffs a declaration of war, announcing retaliatory measures including boycotting American-made alcohol and targeting products from Republican-held areas in the automotive sector. Volkswagen, operating a significant manufacturing plant in Puebla, Mexico, warned that such tariffs would harm American consumers and the global automotive industry, advocating for free and fair trade. In response, China discreetly ramped up counteractions, largely unnoticed by mainstream media. These include prohibiting the export of rare earth elements, vital for technology and defense production, to the United States. China also cut oil imports from the U.S., targeting a significant component of bilateral trade, and imposed tariffs exceeding 74.9% on specific American products, intensifying the trade dispute. These tariffs have broadened to encompass imports from the European Union, Japan, and Taiwan, illustrating China's strategic resistance against perceived economic hostility. This analysis investigates these retaliatory measures and their potential global economic impacts, including repercussions for the U.S., EU, and other major nations. It begins by examining the tariff actions enacted by the U.S., EU, Japan, and Taiwan on China, which ignited these rising tensions. Besides the recent 10% tariffs, the Biden administration announced significant tariff hikes on various Chinese imports to counter what it considers unfair trade practices. Key actions include a significant tariff increase on Chinese-manufactured electric vehicles, rising from 25% to 100% starting in late 2024, resulting in total duties of 112.5%. This aims to protect the U.S. auto industry from subsidized Chinese competitors. The rationale is to shield domestic manufacturers from the aggressive pricing of Chinese EVs, benefiting from substantial government subsidies. By making Chinese imports less competitive, the U.S. government aims to create a level playing field for American EV makers like Tesla, Rivian, and other emerging players. Recognizing the strategic importance of battery technology, the United States has targeted several sectors with increased tariffs on Chinese imports. Lithium-ion EV batteries. Tariffs on these batteries have been raised from 7.5% to 25%. This aims to incentivize domestic battery production and reduce reliance on Chinese suppliers, who dominate the market for batteries and critical minerals like lithium, cobalt, and nickel. The U.S. is also working to develop local supply chains for these materials. Semiconductors and technology. Tariffs on semiconductors imported from China are set to double from 25% to 50% by 2025. This is intended to encourage domestic semiconductor production and reduce vulnerabilities in critical technology areas. These tariff increases align with initiatives like the CHIPS and Science Act, which funds U.S.-based chip manufacturing. Medical products and personal protective equipment. Tariffs on medical products, including syringes, needles, and certain types of PPE, will rise significantly. Duties on previously tariff-free syringes and needles will climb to 50% by 2024. Tariffs on some respirators and face masks will increase from 0% to 25%. These measures affect approximately $18 billion worth of Chinese imports and aim to reduce dependence on foreign-made medical supplies. Renewable energy, solar cells, and critical minerals. Tariffs on solar cells imported from China have doubled to 50%, supporting U.S. clean energy businesses and domestic solar manufacturing. Tariffs on critical minerals like natural graphite and permanent magnets, essential for renewable energy technologies, are set to rise to 25% by 2026. This seeks to strengthen domestic supply chains and reduce reliance on Chinese exports for clean energy advancements. The European Union has also implemented measures targeting Chinese trade practices. Starting October 31, 2024, the EU implemented tariffs between 7.8% and 35.3% on Chinese electric vehicles, in addition to the standard 10% car import duty. This followed an investigation into subsidies for Chinese EV manufacturers deemed harmful to European producers. The EU also introduced anti-dumping tariffs on Chinese imports of the sweetener xylitol, ranging from 34.4% to 233.3% by 2025, to protect the EU's industry from unfairly low-priced Chinese imports. Japan and Taiwan are countering China's economic influence through strategic policy shifts rather than explicit tariffs. Japan focuses on strengthening its industrial policies and supply chains, particularly in semiconductors and critical minerals, to reduce dependence on Chinese imports. Taiwan, a key player in global semiconductor production, is diversifying its economic partnerships to mitigate risks tied to China's strategies. These measures highlight intensifying competition among global powers in technology and industry, as nations navigate the challenges of globalization and economic interdependence. China has imposed provisional anti-dumping tariffs on polyacetal copolymer imports from the US, EU, Japan, and Taiwan to protect domestic industries amid rising trade tensions. US exporters face the steepest tariffs, 57.2%, 74.9%, targeting firms like DuPont and Celanese, making it nearly impossible for them to compete in China. EU exporters, including BASF and Ticona GmbH, face a 42% tariff, less severe but still damaging. While these measures increase costs for foreign suppliers, they align with China's broader strategy to boost domestic production and reduce reliance on global imports. Japanese exporters are subject to a tariff rate of 43.7%, slightly above the EU rate, reflecting their competitive pricing and strong presence in the Chinese market. Japan's closeness to China and robust trade ties have historically made it a key supplier of engineering plastics, including polyacetal copolymers. Companies like Mitsubishi Engineering Plastics and Polyplastics Company Limited, specializing in high-performance materials for automotive, medical, and electronic uses, are major players in this sector. The new tariffs are expected to disrupt established supply chains, especially in automotive manufacturing, where Japanese materials are widely used for components like gears and fuel system parts. Nevertheless, Japanese firms' focus on innovation and specialized applications may allow them to retain some market share despite the higher costs imposed by the tariffs. Taiwanese exporters face the lowest tariff rate among the affected regions, set at 32.6%. This suggests the Chinese government found less evidence of aggressive pricing or market penetration from Taiwanese firms compared to those in the US, EU, and Japan. Taiwan boasts a strong petrochemical and plastics industry, with companies like Formosa Plastics Group and Changchun Plastics Company Limited leading the production of polyacetal copolymers. These firms supply essential materials for various applications, including electronics and industrial machinery. While the tariff will raise costs for Taiwanese exporters, the relatively lower rate may enable them to maintain a portion of their market share in China, particularly for niche applications or price-sensitive buyers. This places Taiwan in a somewhat advantageous position compared to its counterparts, though the tariffs will still affect trade volumes. Polyacetal copolymers, also known as polyoxymethylene, POM, are high-performance engineering thermoplastics renowned for their excellent mechanical properties, including high strength, rigidity, and thermal resistance. These characteristics make POM an ideal alternative to metals like copper, aluminum, and zinc, offering manufacturers cost-effective and performance-enhancing options across various industries. In the automotive sector, POM's low friction coefficient and excellent wear resistance make it suitable for components such as gears, bearings, and fuel system parts. Its dimensional stability ensures that parts retain their integrity under thermal stress and mechanical load, enhancing vehicle reliability and performance. Additionally, POM's resistance to fuels and lubricants makes it ideal for under-the-hood applications. In electronics, POM's electrical insulating properties and dimensional stability under varying environmental conditions make it valuable. It's used in manufacturing connectors, switches, and housings for consumer electronics where precision and durability are crucial. The material's low moisture absorption ensures consistent performance in humid environments, maintaining the reliability of electronic devices. In medical equipment, POM addresses the challenges of mission-critical components by offering high strength, stiffness, toughness, and lubricity across a broad range of temperatures and chemical environments. Its low extractable and high purity characteristics, along with FDA compliance and being animal and latex-free, make polyacetal copolymers excellent candidates for medical applications such as dry powder inhalers, insulin syringes, and electric toothbrushes. POM's combination of mechanical strength, low friction, and... The transcript ends abruptly here. Chemical resistance makes polyacetal copolymer suitable for industrial applications requiring durable and reliable materials. It's used in the production of pump components, valve parts, and conveyor belts, where consistent performance under mechanical stress is essential. The material's ability to withstand exposure to various chemicals without degrading ensures longevity and reduces maintenance needs in industrial machinery. China's recent implementation of provisional anti-dumping duties on polyacetal copolymers, with rates from 3.8% to 74.9%, is set to significantly alter the country's market for these materials. Between January and November 2024, China imported roughly 3 billion yuan, about $49 million worth of polyacetal copolymers from the United States, Japan, Taiwan, and Germany, highlighting its dependence on foreign suppliers for this critical material. The introduction of these tariffs is likely to trigger substantial changes in supply chain dynamics. Industries dependent on polyacetal copolymers, such as automotive, electronics, and medical equipment manufacturing, may need to diversify their sourcing strategies. Businesses might seek alternative suppliers from countries not affected by the tariffs or increase investments in local production facilities. By promoting domestic manufacturing capabilities, China aims to lessen reliance on foreign imports, especially from nations heavily impacted by the new duties. Tariffs are expected to raise the cost of imported polyacetal copolymers, likely increasing prices for end products in sectors like automotive and consumer electronics. Higher material costs may ripple across industries reliant on affordable engineering plastics. These tariffs could also strain trade relations between China and exporting countries, potentially triggering retaliatory measures. Businesses in China may need to adapt by diversifying supply chains, investing in local production, or redesigning products to reduce reliance on imported materials. The measures reflect China's effort to boost domestic production and counter foreign dumping, aiming to protect local industries and reduce dependency on imports. A May 2024 investigation by China's Ministry of Commerce confirmed unfair trade practices, prompting the tariffs as part of a strategy to enhance industrial competitiveness and secure key materials for critical sectors. China's recent implementation of provisional anti-dumping duties on polyacetal copolymer from the US, EU, Japan, and Taiwan is expected to yield several significant outcomes. Price increases. The new tariffs, ranging from 3.8% to 74.9%, are anticipated to raise the cost of imported polyacetal copolymers in China. Industries such as automotive, electronics, and medical equipment, which heavily rely on these materials, may encounter higher production costs. This could result in increased prices for end consumers or force manufacturers to absorb the additional expenses, potentially affecting profit margins. Market shift. Domestic manufacturers are likely to benefit as the tariffs make imported polyacetal copolymers less competitive. Chinese producers may see increased demand, allowing them to expand their market share. This shift could stimulate growth within the domestic polyacetal copolymer industry, encouraging further investment and development. Retaliatory measures. The affected countries might respond with their own trade actions, potentially escalating tensions. For example, the United States has previously raised tariffs on Chinese imports, including a 100% duty on electric vehicles, effective from September 27, 2024. Such reciprocal actions can lead to a cycle of retaliation, further straining international trade relations and impacting global markets. Supply chain diversification. Importers in China may seek alternative sources or substitutes to mitigate the impact of the tariffs. This could involve sourcing materials from countries not subject to the duties or investing in research to find or develop alternative materials that offer similar properties to polyacetal copolymers. Such diversification efforts aim to reduce dependency on affected imports and enhance supply chain resilience.